The grand chamber of the stellar accord hummed with the chatter of countless species. This vast, vaulted hall was built to accommodate representatives from over 3,000 different worlds. Beings made of pure light pulsed softly next to massive, rock-like creatures. Sleek, reptilian delegates shared a table with small, spherical aliens covered in shimmering scales. Ambassador Xyla took the central podium. She was a Tikar, a race known for their ancient wisdom and crystalline bodies that shifted colors with their emotions. At this moment, she glowed a calm, steady violet, a sign of her focused intent. Fellow members of the Accord, she began, her voice resonating clearly throughout the chamber, we must address the matter of the humans. A wave of low-pitched chuckles rippled through the audience. The sound was a mix of clicking mandibles, soft chimes, and deep, guttural rumbles. Those primitives, scoffed Commander Rorak of the Crag Empire. He was a towering figure, his thick grey skin covered in battle scars, and four powerful arms crossed over his chest. His people were the undisputed warriors of the galaxy. What possible threat could those fragile beings pose to us? Ambassador Xyla's crystalline form flashed a brief, annoyed yellow. That's the exact problem, Commander. We underestimate them. Our intelligence reports suggest something far more complex. A holographic map of the galaxy materialized above the podium. Hundreds of small, glowing dots marked star systems. In the last 2 years, humans have colonized 58 new worlds. Look at the pattern. It's not random. They're strategically claiming planets that control critical trade routes and resource points. Every one of these worlds was already claimed by a member species of our Accord. Yet the original inhabitants simply left. No battles, no threats, just a voluntary departure. A delegate from the Scythian hive spoke up, its voice a soft, insectoid buzz. Perhaps they saw the benefit of cooperating with humans. I hear they can be quite reasonable. The suggestion was met with a new round of laughter. The idea that a species would willingly cede territory to the insignificant humans seemed absurd to most, but Ambassador Xyla remained unsmiling. 3 cycles ago, we lost contact with Vanguard Fleet 9. They were investigating reports of human activity near the colony of New Eridanus. 12 ships and over 4,000 soldiers gone without a single distress signal. The laughter died. Vanguard Fleet 9 was one of the Accord's most elite military units, equipped with planet-shattering weapons and impenetrable shields. For them to vanish completely was an impossibility. Commander Rorak stood, his four fists clenched. Are you seriously suggesting that primitive humans, who still rely on metal bullets and chemical explosives, destroyed a Federation fleet? Their fastest ships are slower than our cargo haulers. That is what our sensors say, Xyla replied, her tone unwavering. Yet Vanguard Fleet 9 is gone, and New Eridanus continues to broadcast normal radio signals, as if nothing happened. General Vorlag, the esteemed military commander of the entire Stellar Accord, stepped forward from the back of the chamber. His metallic boots clanged rhythmically on the floor. He had fought in more conflicts than any being in the room. I've studied the human reports, he announced. They originate from a world they call Earth. Its gravity is 4 times stronger than most civilized worlds. The air pressure would crush us. It is a world of poison and predators. Any creature that survives there would have to be tough, but toughness doesn't make them clever fighters. Ambassador Xyla's crystalline body turned a deep crimson with frustration. General, with all due respect, this is a grave error. The human expansion is too perfect to be luck. The disappearance of Vanguard Fleet 9 is too clean to be an accident. We are making a big mistake by underestimating them. General Vorlag reached the podium and faced the crowd. The ambassador is right about one thing. We cannot ignore what happened. I propose we send a proper military force to New Eridanus, not just to investigate, but to show these primitives what happens when they interfere with Accord business. Commander Rorak pushed past the other delegates. General, my Crag warriors would be honored to handle this mission. Give us 3 cruisers and a full legion. We'll teach these humans a lesson they'll never forget. General Vorlag nodded slowly. Agreed, Commander, but no unnecessary destruction. Land your forces, secure the colony, and send a clear message. The Accord is patient, but not a fool. We will not allow primitives to challenge our authority. As the meeting concluded, a small, silver disc, no larger than a coin, went unnoticed in the chamber's air recycling system. It was human technology, far more advanced than anything the Accord knew they possessed. It had been recording for months, 2,000 light-years away. In a hidden command center, carved into an asteroid, General Ben Carter listened to the recording. He was a tall man with a calm, focused gaze and scars on his hands from a lifetime of service. Well, he said with a slight smile, that went exactly as we planned. Next to him, Colonel Lena Shaw, a smaller woman with the same determined look in her eyes, reviewed the Crag military reports on a screen. They're taking the bait. 3 cruisers and a full legion. About 4,000 soldiers, not including crew. It's more than enough to make our point. Ben walked to a holographic map of the galaxy covering the wall. Red marks showed Accord military bases. Blue marks showed human colonies. Green marks showed the worlds that had secretly allied with humanity. There were far more green marks than the Accord could ever imagine. Send a message to Commander Jake Ryan on New Eridanus, Ben ordered. Tell him the guests are coming to his party. 3 days to prepare. Lena nodded, her fingers flying across her keyboard. Ben, once we do this, there's no going back. The whole galaxy will know what we're really capable of. Ben stared at the map. They've been treating us like simple animals for decades, taking our resources, limiting our expansion, telling us where we can and cannot go. They think we're too weak, too primitive to be a real threat. He turned to face her, his eyes cold and resolved. It's time to show them what humanity is really capable of. The three Crag cruisers dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the new Eridanus system. Each ship was a mile long, bristling with weapons. Commander Rorak stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the planet appear on the main screen. Sir, we're detecting normal civilian activity on the surface, reported his sensor officer. Farming equipment, transport vehicles, basic communications. Nothing that suggests military readiness. Rorak's four arms were crossed behind his back as he studied the peaceful world. Scan for defensive systems. The sensor officer worked for several minutes before looking up in confusion. Sir, there are no orbital platforms, no military satellites, no weapon installations. The strongest energy reading is from what appears to be a grain processing facility. Rorak grunted with satisfaction. These primitives are even weaker than we thought. Lieutenant Thax, prepare the drop pods. I want a full company, on the ground, within the hour. We'll secure the main settlement and arrest the leadership. Below deck, Lieutenant Thax prepared his warriors. The Crag were bred for war. Each stood over 7 feet tall with skin that could deflect most small arms fire. Their armor was the strongest in the galaxy, and their energy rifles could cut through solid steel. Listen up, warriors, Thax addressed his troops. These humans use primitive kinetic weapons. Their bullets can't penetrate our armor, and their reflexes are too slow. This will be an easy mission. On the surface of New Eridanus, life seemed to continue as normal. Farmers worked their fields, children played, but every adult moved with a precise, military grace, their eyes scanning the sky. Colonel Mia Vance sat in what looked like a basement, but was actually a command center filled with advanced military equipment. Screens showed views from hidden cameras, and tactical displays tracked the alien ships in orbit. Thermal imaging shows 3 sections of the lead cruiser are heating up, reported Sergeant Jackson. They're preparing to launch drop pods. Mia studied the screen. Red dots marked the predicted landing zones. Blue dots showed the positions of her people. Every colonist was a veteran soldier. All teams, this is command, she said over a secure channel. The guests are about to arrive. Remember, let them land and get comfortable before we show them how wrong they are. Throughout the colony, farmers and shopkeepers acknowledged the order. Children were moved to reinforced bunkers. Weapons hidden inside farm equipment were readied. Master Sergeant Marcus Torres crouched behind what looked like a broken tractor in the middle of a wheat field. Inside, the tractor was a sophisticated weapon platform. Torres to command, he whispered into his radio. I have a visual on the drop pods, 12 pods just like in the simulations. The Crag drop pods screamed through the atmosphere. The colonists pointed and acted surprised, playing their part perfectly. Lieutenant Thax watched from his pod as the ground rushed up to meet them. The landing zone was a flat, open area. He could see humans in the distance, standing and watching like curious animals. The pods landed, and the Crag warriors emerged, activating their personal shields and raising their rifles. The area was quiet. Spread out and secure the perimeter, Thax ordered. Squad leaders, report when your areas are clear. The Crag soldiers moved with military precision. Their armor made them look like walking tanks. Against any normal colonial militia, they would have been terrifying. But the humans were not normal. Captain Anya Sharma lay in a drainage ditch 300 meters away, covered by a camouflage net. Through her rifle scope, she watched the Crag spread out. Sharma to command, she whispered. Targets are in the open. Do I begin the demonstration? Negative, replied Colonel Vance. Let them get closer to the buildings. We want them to feel confident. Lieutenant Thax advanced toward the nearest building, a wooden barn. His sensors detected no weapons, no shields. Sir, a soldier called out, civilians are approaching from the settlement. They don't appear to be armed. Thax saw a group of humans walking toward them, led by an older man. Welcome to New Eridanus, the man said. I'm Mayor Jackson. We weren't expecting visitors. Thax pointed his rifle at the human. I am Lieutenant Thax of the Crag Empire. This colony is under military occupation. You will surrender all weapons and gather in the central square. Mayor Jackson nodded calmly. We are peaceful people, but I should mention one small mistake you've made. What mistake? Thax demanded. Mayor Jackson smiled. You assumed we were helpless. He raised his hand, and the entire colony erupted in controlled chaos. Farm buildings revealed hidden weapon emplacements. Civilians produced military rifles from concealed locations. The grain facility opened to expose artillery pieces. Thax spun around, his soldiers shouting in confusion. They were surrounded. Impossible, he breathed. Our sensors detected no military installations. Captain Sharma's voice came from somewhere behind him, though she remained invisible. Your sensors were looking for energy weapons and force fields. We use kinetic weapons and camouflage. Different technology, same result. The first shot came from Marcus Tor's fake tractor. An armor-piercing round tore through a crag warrior's shield and armor, dropping him instantly. Mori shots followed from all directions. The crag energy weapons were powerful, but they couldn't hit targets they couldn't see. Commander Rorak stared at his communication panel in disbelief. For 15 minutes, he had been trying to contact his ground forces. All he received was static. "Sensor officer, what are you detecting?" Rorak demanded. "Sir, no crag life signs at the landing zone. The human settlement appears unchanged. Energy output is normal. No signs of battle damage." "Impossible," Rorak roared. 100 elite warriors do not simply disappear. While Rorak struggled, Colonel Vance sat calmly in her command center. She had opened a direct channel to the crag ships. "Ma'am, the lead cruiser is responding," Sergeant Jackson reported. The main screen flickered, showing Commander Rorak. His skin was bright red with anger. "This is Commander Rorak. Explain what happened to my forces." "Commander, this is Colonel Mia Vance, military governor of New Eridnus," she replied calmly. "Your soldiers attacked a peaceful settlement. They have been neutralized." "Neutralized? You dare claim primitives defeated crag warriors?" he bellowed. "Show me proof, or I'll reduce your colony to ash." "Certainly." The screen split to show footage from the battle. The aliens watched in shocked silence as their elite soldiers were systematically eliminated by humans they couldn't see. "As you can observe, Commander, your forces were defeated because they made the same mistake you are making now," Vance said. "You assumed we were weak and stupid. You were wrong, and now they are dead." The communication channel closed, leaving Rorak staring at a blank screen. His tactical officer spoke carefully. "Sir, should we prepare for orbital bombardment?" Rorak considered the option. Destroying the colony would be easy, but it would be an admission of failure. The political consequences would be severe. "Negative," he decided. "Prepare a second landing force. Double the size. Heavy weapons, armored vehicles, and air support. These humans used surprise. They will not succeed against a proper military assault." What he didn't know was that Colonel Vance had expected this. She had studied alien psychology for years. Pride would prevent him from simply destroying the colony. "All units, our orbital guests did not like our first party," she announced over her channel. "They're sending a much larger group. Time to show them our second surprise." The colony came alive. Irrigation ditches became trenches. Farm silos revealed surface-to-air missile launchers. The grain facility transformed into an artillery battery. The second wave was impressive. 200 crag warriors in advanced combat armor, supported by hover tanks and atmospheric fighters. They landed, and the human's trap was sprung. Buried chemical explosives detonated, throwing the crag forces into chaos. Sniper fire, from hidden positions, picked off officers and tank drivers. A network of underground tunnels allowed human soldiers to attack from all directions. Electronic warfare systems jammed alien communications and created false targets. Commander Rorak watched from orbit as his second assault force was destroyed. They fought like no other species the Crag had ever encountered. The humans used deception, terrain, and a complete knowledge of Crag military doctrine. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission from the human colony," his communications officer reported. "They want to speak." Admiral Zyla received Rorak's emergency transmission. Her crystal body turned a deep purple. "Admiral," Rorak's voice cracked. "I need immediate reinforcements. The humans are not what we thought they were." "Commander, you were sent to handle a simple colonial uprising," Zyla demanded. "Admiral, they have destroyed 2 full assault waves without a single casualty." Rorak's voice rose to a terrified whisper. "They know our every move. They are using tactics and technology that don't exist in any database." Admiral Zyla reviewed the tactical reports. The data made no sense. Yet the evidence showed her best forces being outmaneuvered and destroyed by an enemy that seemed to know their every move. "I am sending Vanguard Fleet 3 to your location," she said. "Hold your position until they arrive." But Rorak was no longer listening. He was watching his sensors as new contacts appeared at the edge of the system. Ships were approaching from multiple directions, moving at impossible speeds. "Sensor officer, identify those contacts." "Sir, 15 ships of unknown configuration. They're using some kind of stealth technology. Their energy signatures suggest they're armed with weapons I don't recognize." What Commander Rorak was seeing was the arrival of General Ben Carter and the Third Human Battle Fleet. These were not the primitive ships the Accord had on file. On the bridge of his flagship, General Carter listened to the frantic Crag communications. He smiled. "This is a great day for humanity, but we will show them that we will not tolerate any more bullying," he said. "The show is about to begin. All units prepare to engage."